Tashi Station, here I come. Hello, I'm Josh. This is Josh Build Stuff, coming to you live today from the Junlin Wastes of Tatooine. Today we're talking about the all-new LEGO Star Wars Luke Skywalker's Landspeeder. This set just came out at the beginning of May in 2022. It contains 1,890 pieces and costs $200 US. Don't ask me what that translates to in Republic credits. They're no good here. So long as we're roasting under the heat of these twin suns, may I offer you a hot take? I like this set. I like Landspeeders. Look, I am an original trilogy guy. I grew up in the mid-90s. That's when the special editions were around. And so, having a rather short attention span, I watched the beginning of episode 4 a lot. And that is where this X-34 Landspeeder is heavily featured. So I've always liked this set. I know we've all got LEGO Landspeeders coming out of our exhaust vents. And we've had a bunch of them, that's true. But we've never had one quite this large in this scale. This set comes with a very big UCS LEGO Landspeeder. The model itself is beautiful as an initial opinion. That windscreen, man, that is a work of art in and of itself. It comes with a couple of great minifigures. Overall, I really like this set. As far as LEGO Star Wars UCS sets go, this one is actually pretty simple. Not a whole lot here to talk about in terms of details, but I'm actually grateful for this somewhat mid-ranged price. $200 is relatively cheap as far as a lot of larger LEGO Star Wars sets go, so I'm grateful for this one. I'm grateful for the subject matter. I'm grateful for that price point. I'm grateful for its overall size. Overall, I think this is a great set. That being said, let's talk about the details, the features, the build, and the minifigures contained within this set. What's up, guys? Oh, really? Now? Okay.
Afternoon. Do you have any idea how fast you were going?
I don't know, 10, 12 parsecs an hour?
Try 15. Where are you headed today?
I was just going to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters.
Alright, no need to whine about it. Listen, I'm looking for a blue and white R2 unit. Usually hangs out with a really annoying protocol droid. You seen him?
No?
You sure?
Yeah?
Alright. Move along. Move along.
Ooh. Let's talk about the build for this set, and to do so, let's head on into Beggar's Canyon because there's an excellent echo in here. Echo! If I may echo what a lot of people have already said about this set, the build is wonderful. It's kind of delightful. It's really nice. And a large part of that is owed to the fact that there is very little Technic involved in this build. So it is technically pretty simple. The whole thing is made basically with Lego plates. You know what the fun thing about this build is? Unlike building Lego sets underwater, there are very few sub-assemblies in this build, meaning there aren't a lot of side builds that you build a little component or part and then attach it to the main build. Basically, the entire body of this thing is built all at the same time. Obviously, the engines are done as little sub-assemblies, but other than that, that's the entire build. Body, engines, little stand for some minifigures and the chip to sit on top of, and that's it. The build is beautifully simple and comes together, I don't know, pretty quickly. 5 hours at most, I think, and I was taking my time. That's not even enough time to watch the entirety of the original trilogy. So I think Padawans and Master Builders alike will all really enjoy the build process for this set. Weird tone you're giving to this one. You're literally supposed to be driving in a Landspeeder and you're just casually reviewing a Lego set while oh, there's a Dubak going by and some Banthas and sand people. Sorry, Tusken Raiders. We're just casually talking about a Lego set while speeding through the Tatooine desert. Hey, guess that's what we're going for in this one? Let's talk details, which is all there is to this set, which sounds great until you realize it means that this set lacks features and only has details. There aren't any opening compartments or moving parts or levers or switches or really anything that happens in this set. There aren't any play features, which is a weird thing to complain about because it is a UCS set. It is obviously meant to primarily be displayed, which is fine. But for such a quote-unquote iconic ship in the Star Wars universe, I just wish it had some, I don't know, Lego Easter eggs. But in that regard, it's kind of lacking, right? There are no references to Tashi Station or Jedi mind tricks or the droids you're looking for, or the fact that Luke literally sold this Landspeeder so that he could afford to pay Han Solo to take him to Alderaan. There's none of that. And this isn't just any old X-34 Landspeeder. This is specifically Luke Skywalker's Landspeeder. It's got the damaged engine and some exposed parts throughout the dints and dings that are a characteristic of Luke Skywalker's Landspeeder, and yet it doesn't have any play features, and I guess that's fine because we just like looking at the thing. So let's talk about how this thing looks. It looks nice. It is a nice size. As you can see me holding it here, it's not the biggest UCS set, it's not the smallest. I like these somewhat symmetrical ships. It is like bulky. It's nice. It's plates all the way through most of this thing, so it is substantial and heavy. That windscreen, that is like, I don't know, that's almost worth it by itself, right? It's a beautiful piece of plastic in reality, but like it's not too scuffed. There's some interior details in there, like a couple of seats and like a stick shift. Who knew a Landspeeder was manual transmission? I think the details like around the outside of this thing are nice. Those like the wire bits that are stretched in order to form that grill looking piece, whatever you want to call it, that's actually really well done. I was curious how well that effect would work in reality, but those things lay pretty straight. They're just stretched around a corner through a ladder piece there and then wedged underneath some other pieces there to hold them in place. I think the effect actually pretty well works in this case. The engines on this thing are worth noting. I think they look really good, look very substantial. I like the way that this partially exposed engine is achieved. The wires in there are cool. A little whip piece is used to represent some wires. I like that. The rear of this ship is, I don't know, notable at best, which is saying something. I like the shape of this thing. I like the size of this thing. I think overall, this is a really nicely detailed ship. The stand is fine. The plaque is cool. There is a reference there saying it could hold up to 2 droids, which is, I guess, a reference to 3PO and R2 riding in this thing one time. Other than that, though, the references in this thing are lacking. Without the stand, though, this thing can kind of hang out on a table, but doesn't have wheels or anything, so it can't roll. So really, again, it is only meant to be displayed. I guess if you wanted to, you could like rig up some kind of weird wheel and mirror system on the front of this thing, but that would just be a really odd thing to do. Just display it like a normal person, man. Oh yeah, my contract says I have to complain about any stickers in UCS sets. There are a few here. Notably, I have to complain about these curved ones in the front there. Let's Mad Lib an adjective. Those were annoying to apply. As for the minifigures contained in this set, brief disclaimer, I'm not a minifigure guy. I didn't buy this set for the minifigures, and so, much like Anakin's opinions on sand, I'm not crazy about these figures. Farm Boy Luke, I've got a dozen of them. I'm not unhappy to get another copy of him and his farm boyish good looks, but he's okay. As for 3PO, he is lackluster. Literally, he lacks literal luster. I wish he was shinier. I wish he was drum lacquered. I wish he was pearlescent. And yet, I still appreciate his arm printing and his leg printing, and I know people are going to be mad at me for not pointing such things out. I know he's got a double molded now silver leg, but can I be honest? The silver leg is a little garish. It's a little obvious. In a like chrome shiny version of the thing, it's a little more subtle, a little harder to notice, unlike if they gave him, I don't know, a ridiculous red arm. But in this version, it's cool. I'm glad to have him, but I'm not in this set for the minifigures. So they are just C3P okay. Okay, if I'm forced to point out something I don't like about this set, I'm tilted that this set isn't tilted. Tilted is still something that people say these days, right? If you think about the like UCS Snowspeeder that came out a little while ago, you could tilt that display stand to either be like horizontal or like a little bit angled so that you could see it from a cool angle. This one does not have such a capability. It only has to be displayed directly like flat to the ground, which makes sense in the context of the ship, but doesn't look great. Like even from the camera angle that you're looking at it, like you're not seeing a lot of the ship displayed. Like I wish you could see it like this, because then it's like, oh yeah, that's a Landspeeder. Like it's obviously, it can only hover a meter above the ground. So like I said, it is canonically correct to be displayed just like flat like this, but the whole thing falls a little flat, only being displayed like this. Okay, my overall thoughts, because I am starting to sweat out here. I cannot wait for those XP38s to come out. I hear those things have air conditioning. My overall thoughts on this set, personally, I think it's excellent. I understand that that's a purely subjective thought, and a lot of other LEGO Star Wars fans don't want this as their next UCS set. Fine, don't get it. That's cool with me. Personally, I was happy to pick this thing up for $200. It was enough to get the gifts with purchase in early May. I love the subject matter. I love the execution of this thing. I am glad to add this set to my collection. Let me know what you think about this set in the comments down below. As for me, I've just encountered some blast points that are way too accurate to be sand. People can only be Imperial Stormtroopers, and if they were here, that could lead them back home. I've got to go. Be sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I'll see you next time.